Welcome! We start off with the arrival of the K-12 system here in the Philippines. It brings with it concepts like mother tongue-based multilingual education and spiral progression, among others. Now all of these aim to develop a student's academic, technical, sports, and arts-related skills. And the student gets to undergo all of these from kinder all the way to senior high school. Now these added 2 years will require more teachers displaced and more teachers hired. It is therefore the university's job to adjust academic structure and prepare for the 5-year transitional period. Now this brings us to the well-known University of Ateneo de Manila and its rich tradition of having gender-exclusive classes in both the grade school and high school, while only starting coeducation in the Loyola schools in 1993. It is here where the K-12 system influences the Ateneo High School to use coeducation system for the first time in the year 2016. So we decided, why don't we ask around for initial thoughts on the idea of co-education?
I think that having girls around or being a co-ed school is better than being in an exclusive boys university because I guess it gives more powers to women because equality, yay!
I've been in the Ateneo with Crespo here for more than 14 years, from prep to college. And I can say it's not really different because I remember before when there was the Blue Babel Battalion, it was an all-boys club. So it doesn't really make a difference, but paano ba to? How do I say? Parang it got different when the women came in 1970. I'm not sure. But um, I think equal representation is better because along with men, women are complementary to them. And it works that way. At least hindi nagkakaroon ng hegemony where one man does something and everyone else just follows.
Okay, I think Ateneo is better na co-ed because it gives everyone equal opportunity to study here, to experience having the prestige of getting an Ateneo quality education, and it gives boys more exposure to women, which is really needed for better development.
Well, can you imagine Ateneo as only an all-boys school?
Also for me, I don't think I can imagine an Ateneo that's not co-ed. Well, college at least, because well, I've been here for 1 year and I got used to it. And I think it's better because we get to meet more people and we get to improve our social skills more.
Yes, I can, but then that would be too chaotic.
Yes, I think that I can imagine Ateneo as an all-boys school because I came from an all-boys school. But I prefer Ateneo to be a co-ed school kasi siyempre di masaya ko ng chicks.
I don't think Ateneo would be much different except that the population would be boys instead of co-ed. And I think it would be having the same lessons anyway and the same curriculum essentially, except that the students are boys. And I prefer the co-ed Ateneo, of course, because I'm a girl and it would allow Ateneo to expand and teach girls about its awesome curriculum. And I think everyone should have access to that because education is a very important thing.
Okay, na-imagine ko na all boys ang Ateneo. Sobrang malala. Tapos mas gusto ko co-ed. Kaya sobrang manyak ng mga tao kong all boys.
I think it's different because then they were not as accepting of having women study here than now.
Why don't we learn more from Father Anthony Pabayo, the Vice President for Basic Education, on why the AHS will be co-ed next year?
Well, we really see it as a good response to the K-12 reform. We know that many of the schools, at least the public schools, are not ready to offer the senior high school. So we see it as a good opportunity for us to help in the nation building. So we said maybe it's about time for us to consider accepting girls because there are also bright girls in the public schools. So we're considering that we will be offering scholarships to these bright girls and bright students from the public school especially.
But why only limit it to senior high school students?
Um, that's a good question because we do affirm the tradition of Ateneo de Manila that we have always been, at least the basic education has always been all boys since it was established. So then we realized that since we consider the senior high school as college preparatory, so we see that it's a good time already for the young men to associate with girls. We also know about the difficulties of of our graduates from the high school entering Loyola schools, and it will be their first time to associate and be with girls in their classes and in their courses. And we have heard of stories about how difficult it is. Even our alumni going back to the high school telling, it's very uncomfortable or awkward for them to be having girls in classes. So I guess this is a good opportunity for us to see that as they enter college, that's that's when they meet girls. So maybe the senior high school is a good opportunity for them to already start dealing with the opposite sex.
Will girls willingly choose to be part of this senior high school?
I think a lot of parents, not only the students themselves, believe in the Ateneo education. If we are actively recruiting from the public schools and schools, parochial schools, and that are not ready for senior high school, then I suppose they see it as a good opportunity to get Ateneo education early on.
What are the relevant differences between co-ed schools and gender-exclusive schools?
Parang, ano po ba yung...
Yes. When I saw that question, I said, oh, this is an intriguing question.
Yeah.
I was in Ateneo de Davao for 4 years. I was in Ateneo de Davao High School as principal in 2006 to 2010. It's co-ed. It has been co-ed since 1976, if I'm not mistaken. So I have an experience of being principal in a co-ed school. It was it was challenging for me coming from an all boys school here in Ateneo de Manila. But I see the very in um, very rich dynamics in interaction between boys and girls, and yeah. So I would expect this would be an interesting encounter or an interesting experience to have girls around.
What is the weight of an all-boys school relative to a co-ed school?
Well, I think even the Pope affirmed that. that remember when he was here, when he visited the Philippines at UST, and there was this young girl who was crying and asking a very difficult question, which has really no answer. Why did God allow poverty? Something like that. And the Pope affirmed that the presence of girls, that the girls think in a different way. Uh, so I suppose they offer us a different perspective, and that's what I also saw in Ateneo de Davao. It was really a very good experience between boys and girls. The relationships are more natural. They look like brothers and sisters actually. When you see, at first I was reacting when I see them, holding hands or embracing one another. But then I realized, I said, there's no malice in it because they've been together since grade school. It's an all it's a co-ed school since grade school. But this time we realized that again we respect the all male tradition of Ateneo de Manila, and we see that we see the importance of that. Yet, but also at the same time we also see the importance of as we prepare them for college. Maybe it's a good opportunity for them to be with girls.
What would be the impact of the change of the AHS to other gender-exclusive schools?
I cannot speak for the exclusive schools for girls, no, as the single gender schools, because I think they also believe in their own charism, their own mission. We have a neighbor school that's all girls. We have Ika, Poveda, those schools, which are actually feeder schools of Ateneo de Manila. I mean, in Loyola schools. In fact, when we were preparing for our proposal to the Board of Trustees for the senior high school. We went to the schools. We had dialogue with their administrators. SPC, that's also all girls. We went to Miriam. We went to Poveda, and they're not actually afraid. Because we thought that they would be afraid losing their bright girls. But we assured them that we are not actively recruiting from this all girls schools, but really focusing on how to help the public schools, the small parochial schools, and even Jesuit schools in the provinces that are not ready for senior high school yet. But consider that consider that Ateneo education would be already a good education for leadership as well as academics.
How will schools like LaSalle respond to this change?
I have not talked to any LaSalle brother about their plans for senior high school, but I've not heard of any change. I guess they're still all boys. Saver School, our brother school, in Green Hills, have not changed their focus. It will still be a single gender school, all boys, even their senior high school. So they're not expanding. It's a greater challenge really for Ateneo de Manila because we are not only accepting girls, but we're expanding. We're adding 300 students. If you ask me as to how many girls would there be, whether that's 50-50, 60-40, I still don't know because it depends on the entrance exams because they will still be taking entrance exams.
Will there be new buildings in the Ateneo High School?
Yes, the location is towards the playing fields. Yeah, I think it's perpendicular to Moro Lorenzo. So that's the area. It's a three-story building. So hopefully we will start by August. The architects told us that it will be good for. I mean that the construction would be around 10 months. So hopefully it will be ready by June next year. That's the hope.
What was the step-by-step process in making this decision?
It was a discussion among administrators, really, that this would be a response to the thrust of the university, particularly that of nation building, as I mentioned. So it's helping the educational system, particularly the public schools. But also at the same time, we did a lot of focus group discussions, even with parents and alumni. So we created a committee to do this focus group discussions with parents and alumni, got their feedback, got the faculty also to give us feedback, and there was a wholesome support really to open uh, a co-ed senior high school. We see it as actually going to the frontiers, something different that Ateneo, challenging that Ateneo would like to do. Really, it's very challenging and very difficult on our part. Because we still have to train teachers because our teachers are used to handling boys, all boys. So we have to, train them. We have to look at our formation programs. Even the the organizations offer. So they have to be also ready to accept girls in their organization. I don't know what Dula Sibol has decided, whether they will accept girls or whether there will be Dula Sibol for senior high school. Uh, we have committees working on all this, and I'm still waiting for their proposals actually.
Will there be dynamics of the senior high school that will be exclusive to boys?
The senior high school will have their own set of organizations.
Akala ko po parang senior high school
No, no,
to
no.
senior.
We see it as two separate schools, although it's a high school. Although we are moving toward a 6-year high school program. So that's a junior high school, which is 7 to 10, and a senior high school, which is 11 to 12. So just as the grade school has a primary school and a middle school, then the high school will also be a junior high school, 4 years, and 2 years of senior high school.
Will the Ateneo High School have only one principal?
Yes, that's a structure that we have already agreed upon and already approved. There's one principal, that's Dr. Oracion, but two separate administrative teams. I'm quite excited, really. Hopefully, yeah, hopefully this will be a good venture, exciting venture. We do not really know how many girls will be applying. We already have written to the public schools because we need to also give them some support because exams will be coming later this part of the year. So,
Will this senior high school be permanently co-ed?
I don't know, but that's the intention that this will be a co-educational school.
What is your message for the incoming senior high school students?
I think everyone is really excited to welcome girls, even the parents and our alumni. Then, well, in several of our discussions, the alumni were saying it's about time. It's about time that that Ateneo is open to the girls. But also we got some groups comments also about hopefully not the entire system, although but there are also some groups saying us saying why not the entire basic education, but no, we that's not our intention. That's not our intention when when we proposed the senior high school to be co-educational. That's really just the senior high school. So rest assured, we told the parents and our alumni that it will not go down to grade one. What would be my message to the boys, especially our graduates, and this will be an exciting year coming up. We really hope that the girls who will come to us will add more excitement and will also challenge our students from the high school.
That in-depth interview gave us the understanding of coeducation and the ideas revolving around it. However, the direction of this act is still unclear. As Father Pabayo said, Ateneo is taking a different direction, while others are currently sticking to their own, and the two are independent of each other. So at the moment, Ateneo is making changes in search for that broader student development. Thus, we will all just have to wait and see whether or not this structural change Ateneo is going through will result to that significant difference when the time comes.